Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chavez. Here. Councilmember Schultz.
Here.
Councilmember Canada.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Heckerman.
Here.
Mayor Prida.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Presentations and proclamations. A presentation from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. I'm Lieutenant Cheryl Newman. Thank you for having me.
There's a little, push the little button there on the thing there. If it turns green, it's on.
Oh, it's green. Oh.
Okay. It works. Yeah, it's on.
You know, normally I'm so loud I don't need one of these because I don't want to blow you off your seat, so I'll have to watch
Well,
it.
Unfortunately, for recording purposes, it has to have the mic on to pick it up.
Okay. Is that good? Okay. Again, thank you for having me, Mayor and council members. I'm Lieutenant Cheryl Newman. I am here to discuss a very important proposal with you that will truly make a difference in Los Angeles County, because I don't think there is a resident or business owner or those that travel through Los Angeles County that don't believe that something significant needs to be done about the 80,000 gang members and approximately 1,200 gangs throughout Los Angeles County. Last year, there were over 9,000 violent assaults committed by gang members throughout the county at an average of 25 a day. Almost 50% of our murders are committed by gang members annually. Last year, there were over 500 murders committed by gang members. Something significant needs to be done to change the course of gang crime, gang membership. And that's what this proposal is to get that clock rolling towards changing the direction of the gangs, those that want to make a change, those that want to improve or go down the right road. There's prevention, intervention, increased programs coming. Those that don't want to make that change and still want to continue committing crime and terrorizing the county, there's increased suppression to take care of that. So with that in mind, what I'd like you to do is imagine what Los Angeles County could be like imagine if we had a countywide gang task force, 460 members, essentially blanketing the county with gang suppression. If you look at effective task force strategies, when you look at the city of Compton, for example, last year it was one of the most violent cities in the county with 72 gang-related murders. At the beginning of January, Sheriff Baca moved in the Compton Task Force, and they started working on gang crime in that area. At this time last year, there was already 32 gang-related murders. This year, with the presence of the task force,
You're okay.
am I good? Okay. This year, with the presence of the task force, there's 12 gang murders. That's still 12 too many, but it's a significant reduction in gang-related murder, 75% reduction in their drive-by shootings, a significant overall reduction in violent crime. That's what the task force strategy can do. And imagine if we could replicate that countywide. Imagine if we could expand our prevention and intervention programs, our job training programs, to really, truly make an impact on gang membership. And imagine if we could actually implement Penal Code Section 186.30. Right now, there is a mandatory gang registry. If a gang member is prosecuted under a gang statute, the judge orders them to register. Once they get out of custody and they go to register, there's a form they fill out. However, there's no automated system to input that information. When the gang member fills out the information, one copy goes in the court record, which the officers on the street don't have access to, and another copy is just stored somewhere. So this is a very powerful tool that if a gang member fails to register after they've been ordered, it's a misdemeanor, it's a violation of probation, that is not being utilized right now. Imagine if we could implement that. And imagine if we could do this all for the cost of $0.25 cent. Some of the measure highlights. Right now it's considered for the November 2006 ballot. The Board of Supervisors has to vote at least 4 out of the 5 board members 88 days prior to the election to make it a ballot member. I'm sorry, a ballot measure. Not member, measure. It would cost the average resident about $20 to $30 a year, which unfortunately doesn't even fill your tank of gas right now, or $1.67 to $2.50 a month. And you know, I'm the mother of 4 young children. You're probably amazed I don't look more frazzled than I do right now. I have a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And my 9-year-old daughter asked me, you know, Mom, what are you working on? And I told her where the sheriff has a vision of how Los Angeles County could be if we truly link all 88 cities together and the unincorporated county area together and make a difference with the gangs in the county through a quarter-cent sales tax increase. And she said, well, wow, Mom, that's a great idea, because every time a gang member makes a purchase in Los Angeles County, they're paying for their own arrest. And I said, well, that's true, but they're also paying to help themselves if they want to go down a different road, and they're paying to help the next generation of potential gang members through increased prevention and intervention programs. And that's the whole point. Everyone pays a very small amount. You get so much for so little. 7-year renewal clause. It's kind of like a return policy. Give us the opportunity to show countywide how this is going to be effective. In 7 years, it would go back to the voters. If we haven't significantly reduced gang crime, which we know we will, if we haven't made a difference in gang membership, which we know we will, then vote it down and the tax will go away. I'm amazed that a quarter-cent sales tax increase will generate $325 million annually, but that's the revenue that it will generate. The distribution model that you see here, we are working collectively with the Los Angeles County Chiefs of Police. This model is actually their creation. The original model we have was a little bit different, and the sheriff, in working with all other law enforcement agencies, put together this model that would actually bring more money collectively to each city throughout the county. You have $195 million going distributed countywide to every city in the county based on population. The city of Hawaiian Gardens, based on population, would get about $387,000. You have $75 million that would go to the countywide gang task force, and then you have about $55 million that would pay for administrative costs associated with the increase in services related with the passage of the measure. And I'll explain that first. 17% administrative distribution. You have about $29 million going to custody, $11 million going to the district attorney's office for the hardcore gang prosecutions. You have about $7 million going to agencies such as probation, Department of Children and Family Services, the city attorney's office, LA Unified School Police would see some money in that. And then you have $2 million that the board can use, whether it's for the public defender's office or any entity that's affected by the increase in services. And then you have that piece, the technology piece, about $5 million. Part of that would be utilized to automate the gang registry system in LA County. The distribution that's going to be used for suppression and prevention and intervention throughout the county, it's distributed to all 88 cities in the unincorporated county area. City of Los Angeles will get about $72 million. That's strictly based on population. The independent cities collectively would get $66 million, and then the contract cities in the unincorporated area collectively, that totals about $57 million. The city of Hawaiian Gardens, based on population, as I said, would get about $387,000. Half of that would have to be used for suppression. The other half, the council would determine what prevention intervention programs work best within your city, or if you want to use more for suppression. It gives a lot of flexibility for the council, each council, to meet the unique needs of their city. The countywide gang task force that I talked about. 460 officers countywide. We'd be drawing from all of law enforcement throughout the county. So when you have about 22 to 25,000 law enforcement officers countywide, it will be relatively easy to fill the 460 positions. They would be distributed throughout the county. There would be 10 mobile trailers. 3 of the trailers would service LA City, 3 of the trailers would service sheriff's areas, and 3 of them would service the independent cities, and then you would have an additional one that would be used in areas that are severely impacted with gang crime. Within each trailer, you have 2 teams. You would have a lieutenant, 2 enforcement sergeants, 2 investigator sergeants, 16 enforcement officers, 12 investigators, a probation officer, support staff, gang super teams, essentially, that will go into an area that is being significantly impacted or go into a region, spend 3 to 6 months, depending on the severity of the problem, significantly reduce the gang crime like what has occurred in Compton, and we know this strategy works. And then the city that they're in will use the increased resources of their suppression to maintain and continue declining gang crime. And then those prevention intervention programs that will have increased because of the funding can be used for those that want to get away from the gang life or go down a different road. The last word I'm going to say on this, and it's hard for me to say a last word because I could go on and on, but I know you don't want to listen to me all night, is what this proposal does is it sends a message. It sends one message that the citizens of LA County have had enough terror, enough murder, enough death, enough violence committed by the gangs. It also sends a message of hope for that next generation that they don't have to go down that road because you're going to have the increased opportunities with prevention intervention programs. And for those that do want to go down a different road and get away from the gangs, they will have those opportunities as well. Thank you.
Have you had many cities signing on with you on this yet?
I have spent the last several months just educating groups and cities on what this is about, and we are now getting ready to send out resolutions and a letter from the sheriff, and I did bring one that we hope that your council will adopt. And it also has a staff report accompanying it that gives all the facts that I just talked about, as well as the handouts that I gave you. So we do hope that you'll consider adopting a resolution of support, and those will be going out to all the 88 cities within the next week.
Good.
If there's no questions, thank you so much. I have 4 little ones waiting to see Mom. But
God
thank you
bless
so
you.
much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Oral communications. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on items on and not on the agenda. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. I would like a little clarification on resolution number C as far as the adopting the levy annual assessments. Is this just a bookkeeping procedure or are we actually assessing individual groups, private parties, or what?
Is item
Excuse
C1?
me, Madam Mayor and members of the council, actually, if he could hold that maybe until we get to that part of the agenda, I think that would be the proper order.
Yeah, okay.
This is actually the time for matters that aren't on the agenda, kind of new issues.
Not according
it's
to
on and
this.
off.
No, it's on and off the agenda.
Oh, okay.
It's on and off the.
Okay, excuse me, I apologize,
Joe, would you like to?
Yeah, this is something we do every year, once a year, that we have to have an engineer's report, so it's the lighting and landscaping assessment district, that everyone in the city is assessed a certain dollar amount. That's assessed on your property tax bill, and it's been going on for several years.
Okay. Okay, and then I have some other items I'd like to touch on. Of course, I'm not privy to what goes on behind the scenes here, but I was a little upset and concerned about the mix-up on the city cleanup. It was scheduled for June 17th, and here I am loaded down with a truck full of goodies and no place to dump them because somebody changed their mind or somebody didn't coordinate. I made a call to the city and left a message for, I forgot her name right at the moment. Tina Rosa on extension 247. I'm still waiting for a reply to see what the heck happened. I don't know what happened. Nobody else seems to know what happened. Consolidated doesn't know what happened. What happened?
Mayor,
Scheduled for a cleanup and it didn't happen, huh?
Correct.
that is correct. There was a confusion with the dates, a mix-up, and there wasn't going to be enough the bins to go out, so there was notification sent out to the residents that the date was going to be changed.
Well, I never received a notification.
It was probably because it wasn't scheduled actually for your area per se at the time, was it?
Well, not for my area, no.
Yeah, that's probably the reason you didn't receive a notification
Yeah, but
yourself.
we
It would be
have
the residents in the
we have-
area in which they're going to do the
We
cleanup.
have Channel 36.
They don't go citywide, I guess, just
I think that
certain
the
areas
program
that,
does not, we send out any mailers unless you put a notice on the paper. It's not covered the commercial, the program's not for commercial properties, although Mr. Stevens does have a legal non-conforming residence in a commercial.
Correct.
Yeah.
You may have not been notified, but all the residents would have been notified.
Right, and for your information and the public's information, normally when there is a cleanup, even if it's not in a designated area, we do allow residents to drop,
Yeah.
you know.
So what's the date for the next cleanup then?
I would have to get back to you. I
All
don't
right,
have that
Jim,
information.
I think
get the
it's-
information and
I
let
think
you know.
it's July 1st or it's one of those weekends.
okay.
Mr. Mute, for your information, at the last council meeting, I actually spoke with our representative and did make him aware of the problem, because you are not the only person that has complained. We made sure to try and coordinate it. We do submit a list far in advance, so to avoid these types of situations, but unfortunately this time, we had no other option but to postpone it to a later date.
Well, I was in hopes that perhaps it could be on our channel.
We will make sure to put it on there. I thought it was on there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
And in regards to that channel, everybody, that seems to be going up and down again. I can't seem to get a full day's service out of that, except in the last several days. And then the last thing that I'll talk about is that I noticed a bunch of gang and pot smokers there on Lincoln Boulevard across from the Crescent Automobile Shop, that one of those markets in there, Julian's. So there seems to be a gathering there 2 or 3 times a week. So I thought I might mention that to you and give it to our enforcement people.
It'd be over by
And
Julian's
That's it.
on that side of the street.
We'll make note of that, and sheriffs are here, so.
No, I'm sure that the sergeant will take note of that and check it out.
Thank you.
C3 now.
Okay. Oh, no, I got it.
Madam Mayor, we have a request to take item C3 out of context and do it now so that Ms. Oberle has another meeting to attend.
Okay. Item C3, adopt resolution number 053-2006, approving issuance by the Redevelopment Agency of the City of Hawaiian Gardens of redevelopment project number 1, 2006, tax allocation bonds, Series A, and it's redevelopment project number 1, 2006, subordinate tax allocation bond, Series B, 8, B,
B.
approving escrow agreement and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Staff report?
Go ahead, Steve, or Sarah.
Mayor, members of the council, I'm Sarah Oberle from Stone and Youngberg. You've seen me here a couple of different times on this same financing project. First, there was a meeting to approve a financing structure that used the city's assets as a lease back that facilitated the refinancing of the 2000 COPS, as well as raising about $7.8 million worth of new money for various city projects. We came back to you a couple months ago and discussed a change in the structure, which we thought improved the economic viability of the financing project. That financing structure involves the issuance of 2006 tax allocation bonds that are issued in 2 series. The combination of those bond issues also fund or refinance the 2000 COPs, as well as raise $7.8 million of new money. And when I was here last time, I spoke to you about our expectation that we'd be able to qualify the Series A bonds for AAA municipal bond insurance by the same bond insurer that provided insurance for the 2004 tax allocation bonds. The expectation at the time was that the subordinate bonds, the Series B bond issue, would not be insured, would not be rated. We have gone through the process of preparing the financing documents that allow for this financing structure to go forward. We have, Joe was kind enough to assist me in touring the analysts from the bond insurer around the city to see some of the new projects that have, or new developments that have gone into the ground since 2004. We submitted the legal documents to this insurer, who then takes it through a credit committee. And I'm pleased to report that given the amount of growth and the strength in this project area, the insurer was very comfortable providing the same AAA bond insurance for the Series A bonds. In fact, lowered the premium. I believe when we sold the 2004 bonds, the insurance premium was at a rate of about 1.65% of the total amount of debt service on those bonds. And in your mind, that's, you don't have anything to compare it to except what we were able to get for this bond issue. And for this bond issue, we were able to lower that premium down to 1.20%. So that was a nice improvement. In addition, the insurer offered to fund the reserve fund for the Series A bonds that we expect to be issuing with an insurance premium. That helps lower the size of the bond issue. So we pay a small premium, and instead you don't have to cash fund a reserve fund that just sits there for the next 21 years. So all of this is good news. The documents that you have in front of you are primarily associated with this bond issue as a second supplemental indenture for the Series A bonds. There's a first indenture that's for the Series B bonds, and both what those two documents do are lay out the bond terms. The Series A are, again, parity to the 1999 and 2004 bonds that are outstanding, so that's why it's a supplement to those bond documents. It has the same covenants, same obligations between the redevelopment agency and the bond owners. The indenture for the Series B bonds, we've never done a subordinate series of bonds for the project area, so this is a new document, and it lays out very similar terms, but it basically says, well, first you pay the Series A bond owners first, and when you have extra money left over, you pay the Series B bonds. And for that, of course, the Series B bond interest rates will be higher because they're a little bit more of a risky investment. There's also some escrow agreements that describe how the 2000 COPs will be paid from bond funds. There's a continuing disclosure agreement, which is a common agreement that has to be provided in order for the underwriter to sell bonds. The agency has to provide continuing disclosure. You're already doing that for the 99 and the 2004 bonds, so we're not changing anything in that. In addition, you are being asked to approve the preliminary official statement, which is the offering memorandum that goes out to the investor community and tells the story of these bonds and offers them for sale. There's a bond purchase agreement that is the arrangement between the agency and Chilton and Associates for the actual sale of the bonds. Our expectation as far as timing going forward is that we will sell the bonds in mid-July, and close at least 30 days past today's date. Another action item that you're considering is a second reading of the resolution that amends the redevelopment plan. You did the first reading at the last city council meeting. This is the second reading, and in order for it to become effective, 30 days have to pass. So our closing date cannot be any earlier than 30 days from today's date. So I expect that our closing would occur in the last week of July or the first week in August, given the schedule that we have in front of us. I think on that note, I've covered kind of what you're doing here. One important thing that we talked about last time and that you all should be aware of is that without any change in redevelopment law or a amendment to your redevelopment plan, this is probably the last new money financing that is likely to occur, just given the time limits between now and when the plan expires, as well as a cap on the total amount of tax increment that can be received. So again, absent some change in redevelopment law that extends your time limit or an increase in your total increment cap, this is the only thing we'll be doing from here on out is something that's done for an economic savings.
Yeah, I think the latest thing is they've allowed us now to extend it by 2 years, but I don't think there's anything past that we can extend it to.
Not at this time. Not at this time. Yeah.
And bottom line, how much are we looking at to receive from this?
Oh, we structured this to get the $7.8 million.
7.8.
So, yeah.
So we're right there where we were originally.
That was what our goal. We wanted to hold you harmless on that.
Good, because we have some projects predicated on that.
I recognize that, yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just under Section 2 of the reso, you need to change the fourth line down where it says necessary or advisable by the city manager. Should be changed to city administrator.
Oh.
On the reso itself?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stomach's growling.
Oh, yeah? We have ghosts?
You, Jerry? Is that you, Jerry? What? Shame on you.
Oh, Lord.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay. So now,
Conduct public hearing and adopt resolution number 050-2006, authorizing the recording of the liens against serious real properties in the city of Hawaiian Gardens for delinquent rubbish collection charges.
Motion.
second it. Now you can ask for discussion.
Okay, no discussion.
Well, we don't know. Any discussion?
Okay, we have a public hearing.
Oh, yeah, you.
No, that's true. Conduct public hearing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, public hearing, okay.
Okay,
Anyone wishes?
Just trying to cut a few corners.
Get out
Oh,
of
we're
here.
moving right along.
public hearing is now open. Anyone from the community wishing to speak for or against the item, please step forward and state your name and address for the record.
Must have headed him off at the
I guess they must be,
Must have headed him off at the pass.
I don't know, but there's a whole list of them here. God.
It's a big one. Nobody?
Motion to close.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to waive further reading and adopt resolution number 050-2006.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinances B1, conduct second reading and adopt ordinance number 507, amending the redevelopment plan for project area number 1 of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Hawaiian Gardens to extend the time limit of the effectiveness of said plan pursuant to Senate Bill 1096, Chapter 211, Stats 2004. Do I hear a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. B2, conduct first reading and adopt agency ordinance number 509U, extending the prohibition of the establishment of marijuana dispensaries in any zoning district within the city.
Yeah, that should be
Staff
urgency.
report?
Pardon? Yeah, urgency ordinance, yeah.
Move it.
Do we have a staff report?
Thank you. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, in the last 45 days since the original interim or urgency measure, the interim ordinance, which was adopted as an urgency measure, has gone into effect, there has been very little time really for staff to begin to compile information from other cities in the state, along with other cities in the nation that have been grappling with how and where and whether marijuana dispensaries should be allowed in their city.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, 45 days is really way too short of a time to be able to study what problems there may be and what solutions there may be in allowing these kinds of uses in the city. So what we are asking for is the maximum period of time that an urgency ordinance can be in effect, a moratorium, so to speak, which would extend it out to 2 years from the original date that you adopted it 45 days ago, almost 45 days ago. And in that time, we and staff, we not necessarily would take the whole time, but that would at least allow us enough time to really do a thorough job in looking at this issue. So we're asking for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Betty, you had moved it. I'll second it. Under discussion on this thing, I understand, still federal law takes precedence over everything here. And my concern has always been that, should we rule in favor of doing something like this, we're going to be going against federal law on it. So that's the reason I wanted to have the attorneys study it out and everything, give us an opinion on it. And if you realize recently West Hollywood tried to pass a non-binding resolution to allow small amounts and what have you and have the sheriff not pick them up. Well, fortunately, Sheriff Baca says not under any circumstances. They're still going to be cited. So.
But does that mean we still have it in the city?
No, we don't. In fact, I was by there the other day and they have moved out. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't try to move back in should we not do this,
You're thinking about Lakewood.
So.
West Hollywood does have a
I
dispensary.
thought I heard they were moving to
And I think what the resolution in West Hollywood was saying, that they didn't want the sheriff's department to spend its time with small amounts of marijuana in possession of users, as opposed to what we're talking about here is we're talking about dispensaries. I think West Hollywood already has a dispensary. So, in that sense, West Hollywood's already there. But I understand that there's a lot of cities grappling with the issue at this point in time. And I'm in concurrence with the attorney's office to try to take time to study it and figure out, since we're in a unique position, people, we are 9/10 of a square mile. So no matter where you put it at here, it's going to be very sensitive where we put it, But there are places that maybe, that we could look at, but, certainly some of the places that we've seen would be absolutely, a terrible place to be, where the one was attempted to be put there, and I thought it was just unbelievably dumb by the operators to do that on a main thoroughfare where kids pass by. Just didn't use too much upstairs when they decided to locate there.
And our goal would be to let some other city run up the legal bills, fighting challenges and
Right.
going to federal court, toe-to-toe with the feds over this, and hopefully the chips will, fall where they may, and we'll be able to learn from that over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it seems like all of a sudden there's more press on this particular issue, so I don't know. Well,
Okay, so we've had a
we have a motion.
motion and a second and a discussion.
We've had the discussion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. B3, conduct first reading and introduce ordinance number 510, repealing its entirety Chapter 956, minors curfew of the Hawaiian Gardens Municipal Code.
Do we have a curfew?
Yes, we've had one, but unfortunately, according to what I understand, the wording in this thing also has some other wording in there that has been declared somewhat unconstitutional due to the way it reads. I was always, maybe I'm a little stupid here, but I always thought the curfew just meant, well, all right, after a certain hour of the evening, if they were under the age of 18, they had to be off the streets. But obviously, our curfew said a little more than that. So
I thought it was supposed to be, no minor should be out on the street by 10 o'clock.
after
night.
10 p.m. After
Yeah,
10
10
p.m.
o'clock.
That's what I was under
Nope.
thought of also, but
Nope.
it seems that our ordinance reads something a little bit different than that, so therefore it's been declared kind of out of bounds.
In a way, you're right. I mean, a curfew is a time limit. So, the time limit falls during daytime, too, when you have people going to school, supposed to be going to school.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, what we found was that there was certainly some what's considered protected behavior that fell within our ordinance, as well as behavior that we would want to, would have a legitimate reason to control, kids out in the middle of the night. But there was other types of behavior that was also technically illegal under our ordinance, so at this point, what we advise is that we repeal the whole thing, take a look, and we'll come back to you with one that's constructed just right.
By all
Our
means.
Thank you.
That goes along with what I was saying 5 years ago when I was first elected. Let's take a look at all of our ordinances, because I'm sure that we have some problems with some of the others in there, too. So,
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, but to answer Mayor Pro Tem Heckerman's statement just now, when we're redoing our municipal code, as I stated at a previous meeting, that we'll have their attorneys go through the entire code book, and everything will be taken out, and then once everything is changed, it goes to our attorneys for the second reading in taking it, make sure everything's cleaned up, and if things are unconstitutional at that time, they will be changed, and it goes to our attorneys at that point. So we should, by the time we're done, we will have a municipal code book that is totally correct.
that's good, because, I don't want to see something like this come up again. We should have caught this a long time ago. So, I'm going to read by title only and adopt urgency ordinance number 509U. Or wait a minute, that's not it. That's the, read by title only and introduce ordinance number 510.
Second. Any discussion? We've already had a discussion.
Well, I think we have.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've already went through resolution, no, we didn't.
No, we have C1.
C1, adopt resolution number 051-2006, a request from the Community Development Department declaring its intention to levy annual assessments for the City of Hawaiian Gardens Consolidated Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District, HGLLA 1, fiscal year 2006-07. Staff report.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, this is something that we have to do every year, and the city engineer is asked to prepare a preliminary report at this time to justify the basis for setting the assessment and levy. What the resolution will also do is schedule a public hearing for July 11, 2006 at 6 o'clock p.m. to hold a public hearing on the actual assessments. The engineer's report proposes to maintain the previous assessments, so there will be no increases at all. So basically, it's routine.
Move to waive further reading and adopt Resolution 051, 2006.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we've already had C3.
No, go to
Yeah,
C2
we
now.
did.
Money.
Oh, okay. C2, adopt resolution number 052, 2006, approving pre-issue warrants and regular warrants in the amount of $93,271.58.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chydez?
Aye.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Councilmember Canada?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Heckerman?
Yes.
Mayor Prida?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we skip C3, D1.
Okay, discussion items. D1, an update on the ad hoc committee meeting with the ABC Unified School District regarding Los Coyotes Creek pedestrian bridge and authorization to participate in the pedestrian study. Staff report.
Councilmember Heckerman or Chydez, do you guys want to present a report, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, just for the information of the, for the council and for the public, we did have a meeting. We did have a meeting with the ABC School District and trying to straighten out some differences of opinion concerning the pedestrian bridge. I think we did make some progress. Representative from the 4th District's staff, Aaron Stiebel, was there. 2 board members were there, from what I understand, when we were there. There were supposed to be 3. The chairman was supposed to be there, but he had a previous commitment. So Celia Spitzer and David Montgomery were there. The superintendent was there. Mary Sue was there, another staff member from the school district. And we were there, I guess, and that was it. I think that was...
Ernesto, you and I.
Yeah. Ernesto. And we basically talked about... Well, we talked a lot about the bridge, and I know many people in the public know that we've been on this issue for a while, especially me. We did get informed that they wanted to do a traffic study or a congestion management study the county wants to spend $100,000 on. When we first heard about that, we thought it was kind of strange in that you could just find out who owns the bridge and have them fix the bridge and open the bridge up. But somehow, some way, the county wants to spend $100,000 on this congestion management, and they were quite perturbed when I said it was being a waste of taxpayers' money. And Aaron Stiebel, 4th District, got upset with me, saying, "Oh, the county supervisor doesn't like to waste taxpayers' money." And I don't know. I just, I wasn't too keen on it. But she told me they were going to do it anyway. Okay, so if they're going to do it anyway, then we've decided that we would need to participate in that study, because the fear for us is that the study would show that they would demo the bridge. Okay, so we have to put our 2 cents in. So I'm all for putting our 2 cents in. I think Councilmember Heckerman concurs with that mode of thought.
Yeah, in fact, as soon as Aaron stated that the county supervisor was going to go ahead with the study anyhow, then I felt that it would be ludicrous for us not to have able to have our part in it.
Right.
So that if, whatever the decision is, at least we will have had a say in the matter. If we had not decided to participate, then we had no one but ourselves to blame. It's something other than what we want to see takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did talk to our attorney, our city attorney, Mr. Kavanaugh. I briefed him on what was happening. He'd already talked to council over at the school district. From my understanding, they had a conversation concerning what was going on. I told him that we should probably play a little chess game with the county and the school board, in the sense that, our big fear is that this management plan is going to call for the demolition of the bridge, which would be an absolute disservice to our community. And so I think we should posture ourselves every way legally in order to prevent that from happening. So he concurs about that. So we're going to work to pursue that. But in the meantime, one of the significant aspects of the meeting was that the school district stated that if the city would assume any liabilities that they had, that the school district would quit claim those liabilities that they had to the city of Hawaiian Gardens. And of course, if you keep the gates locked, you're going to have a lot of liabilities because you don't own the bridge. But if you open the gates, you have no liabilities at all. So we thought it would probably be a good deal for us to turn around and assume the liabilities, take the gates off, and then we wouldn't have any liability whatsoever, and that liability would fall back to the county flood control district. So we thought that would be a good deal. So we're going to pursue that end. And by doing that, we would just eliminate the school district from having any interest on the bridge. Then we're down to one entity, and that's the County Flood Control District, which is a separate body in politic than the county supervisors, I found out. And even though some of the school district people feel that the staff knew that, they didn't know it. Their own staff, county staff, didn't realize that the County Flood Control District is a separate politic. It's not governed by the Board of Supervisors. And I had to point that out to them because it's on their easement deed. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about the bridge. 3 statements were made at the beginning of the presentation by Trustee Montgomery. One of the first things he said, that the bridge was built for Hawaiian School, to bring the kids to Hawaiian School, and that was wrong. So I had a document that shows that the bridge was made before Hawaiian School was built. And so it wasn't, and the document says the bridge was made for Bloomfield School, actually. Mm-hmm. And so that's what the bridge was made for, Bloomfield School, which no longer is. They were under the idea that the bridge was 100% in the city of Long Beach. Well, that's not true either. Actually, about 3.87% of that bridge is in the city of Hawaiian Garden. And the other 96% or so is in the city of Long Beach. But there's the easement, it's owned by the county of LA, and the bridge is owned by the County Flood Control District. So it's a public thoroughfare, the way I look at it. And if you remember, the gates on Pioneer was 100% in the city of Long Beach, and the city took them to court, and we beat them on that. So where it sits makes no difference. The fact that they're closing a public thoroughfare makes the difference. So that was the second thing that they stated. I don't know what the third one was. It was just like, after a while, I kept saying, well, wait, that isn't true. And,
Well,
so to me, there's a lot of catching up to do when it comes to having an understanding of the nature of the beast of this bridge. So, but if we're going to get anywhere, I think we're going to get somewhere with a quitclaim deed, and that would allow the city just to take any kind of risk the school district would have, which is none, if they take their gates off. And if we did that, they wouldn't want to lock the gates anyway. So it would be a good thing for us. I think it would be a good thing for the city. And I think we're moving forward on it. And hopefully, if we can get this quitclaim deed done, we could have it open, by the summer, at least good part of the summer so the kids can get out to the bikeway and enjoy the regional bikeway like other kids.
Yeah. One of the other things that took place there was that Councilman Chidas presented them with documentation regarding the bridge that they did not have in their possession. So it was my contention at that time that what they should do is then take the documentation that Councilman Chidas presented along with their documentation that they were presenting to us, put them together, let the attorneys then get together for both sides, our attorneys, their attorneys, and then give us a legal opinion on this, so that we're not butting heads continually on this whole situation and everything. So that was the end result. That's where we are now, at that stage where presumably the attorneys are going to get together and hash this out with each other on that end of it.
That is correct. In fact, we are expediting working on this quick claim to get that resolved.
Good.
ASAP.
Well, it's been a long, hard road to hoe here, but hopefully we're getting somewhere now. So.
Yeah, the document that was presented was like a pink slip. You have a car and you have a pink slip, it shows title. The particular document that was presented was the end of the trail for the easement deed. The easement deed was given to the County of Los Angeles from the County Flood Control District, a separate body in politics. And that particular document referred to a document that showed ownership of the bridge and the parcels number 64 and 65, which falls within the bridge. So that document is the document that shows ownership. So what I did was I initiated a document requesting under the California Public Records Act that document, okay, and any change of title or possession or transfer of ownership or title for that bridge or that parcel. And if they could provide me with that information, if they had it. And mind you, I've asked for this verbally, and they didn't provide it to me. But when I California Public Record Act them, guess what? They had it in their files. So they had to shoot it to me, and when they shot it to me, it was all over with, because there was the document that we were looking for, and it shows title on the bridge. And there was no other document that they provided to me that showed any recorded title change, okay? So you have to have a trail. When you buy a house, you go through a title search to make sure that the house is owned by the person you're buying it from. Make sure that they're not selling you something bogus, okay? That's what you do when you do a title search. Make sure that person has the title on the house. We have done basically what a title search company would probably do, and that's look for the trail of title. And so then we provided them a document, something that the school district didn't have, even though I haven't passed the bar, okay, or I don't have a doctorate, but they sure took my document pretty quick. So, interesting document. It was great. I was so happy when we got it. I showed John Kavanaugh that, and we were all jumping up and down. We were having a great time.
Well, the nice thing is the end result is I think we're making some progress here.
We're
finally.
making progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're making progress.
Yeah, we're making some progress, and a lot will be dependent. First of all, I think we could get it settled as far as the school district is concerned. But the second thing is the study that the county supervisor is going to have. And there is the last hurdle that I think that we're going to have. And we're hopeful that the end result will be that, county owns it in some way, shape, or form, and that they will keep it open to allow the kids around here passage over there to go through there and get to the Pike Trail and what have you. So that's really the whole thing that this has been all about, is just to try and make sure that our kids have the same benefits or the same possibilities as any other community. And I think we have a right and a duty to our kids to pursue it. So that's what we've done.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move it.
To what?
Move. It's just this
Hear a second?
council action on the thing. It's just,
Is there
council
council
direction.
action?
Well, I think the direction is that the attorneys are looking
What the
into
council
it.
wants to do?
Yeah.
I thought
Council-
we had already gone through this.
I need direction in reference to the study.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
the city chooses to participate in the
I
study.
definitely want to participate, and I think we should.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item E, new business. F,
None at this time?
closed session, oral staff reports,
No.
oral council reports.
I do have one thing, Madam Mayor, for the edification of the public out there. Our mayor and Councilman Chidas will be leaving this weekend, along with our city administrator, and going down to our sister city. And one of the major reasons why this is done is that we have been donating money for projects down there. So they go down to make sure that the money is going towards the projects that we have donated the money towards for them. So it's not just simply a trip down there to party. It is a business trip. So in case anyone had that idea that that's what was happening, I just wanted to allay those thoughts in anyone's mind, that this is a business trip on the part of our council people.
Yeah, Venustiano Carranza is hardly a resort area. It's an agricultural farmland.
Okay. I've already had your, okay, do I hear I was going to say oral report, we don't want to go through that again. How about, do I hear? a
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I would, if I could interject at this point in time, I would ask the city council to adjourn in the memory of Jerry Ortiz, who end of watch was the 24th of June, and we won't have another council meeting until then, and I would like us to adjourn in his memory.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I will now call the Community Redevelopment Agency to order. Roll call, please.
Director Chides?
Here.
Director Schultz?
Here.
Director Canada?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Heckerman?
Here.
Chair Member Prida?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Oral communications, items on and not on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on agenda items and not on the agenda. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes.
Okay, we have a young lady who wants to speak.
Hello, my name is Frances Rodriguez. I live at 12457 Clinton Street, and I wanted to know if the city had a plan for the 4th of July as far as the illegal fireworks, or is there going to be a task force, or is there,
Do I hear it? I didn't hear what she said.
Mayor, council, I can respond to that.
Sure. Yeah.
Ms. Rodriguez, yeah, all our special assignment deputies, including our sergeant, will be on patrol that night. And they will try and do their best to address whatever issues are out there. Unfortunately, on that day, that's probably one of the days where they get the most calls for service. So they will be really busy, but they will be out there.
okay, so they're going to stay in the city of Hawaiian Gardens?
There are dedicated deputies.
Because sometimes they're not around. In fact, last year when I called, he told me there were 1,000 calls that were pending. And there was a house down the street, the fireworks were going off until like 1:30 in the morning, and nobody ever responded, nothing ever happened. So that's what I'm concerned about this year, especially all those, they were all illegal,
Right.
so.
They have prepared in a timely manner to be there and work 4th of July, so.
But Lakewood has like a task force. They have like, there's a special number you can call for their residents. We don't have anything over here. That's what, like I said, that's what happened to me last year. It was like crazy, and I had to go to work the next day. It's not fun staying up listening to these fireworks and
Right.
I can sympathize with you because I had to call them several times myself, but unfortunately they were swamped. They were truly swamped that night. I mean, there were illegal fireworks going off all over the city. And one of the problems, even with this, is they have to catch them in the act of shooting off the illegal fireworks. And therein lies a problem, too, because they've done it in the last couple of years right across the street from where I live in the old Vaughn shopping parking lot. So it goes on throughout the city, and in deference to the sheriffs, I know they're trying their darndest on this thing, and I was frustrated myself that I couldn't get a sheriff out there, but they were so swamped with calls. This is what I found out from the Dave Fender later on, that they were just completely swamped with calls, as was Lakewood, as was Cerritos, as was every city surrounding us.
well, the thing with me is these people in this city are not educated with the safe and, with the illegal fireworks. It doesn't seem like there was anything where you show these people, these are the legal ones. You're not supposed to use these. people are bringing in all these bottle rockets and all this other stuff. I don't see any education for the city either. I don't see it on TV. That little teen post, that you have over here, were those kids told about the illegal fireworks? I mean, there needs to be a program to educate everyone.
I think we
I
can
know-
look into that.
I think, at least for next year.
Yeah, we can look into that and try to set up some sort of an educational program, but I can tell you right now, it's going to be a difficult thing to try to get it through to the people that want to shoot the darn things off, because it's going off, first of all, I think in Cerritos, it's illegal for fireworks, right? Yet, they'll have their illegal fireworks shot off over there. I believe in Lakewood, it's also illegal to shoot off fireworks, yet they'll have last year, they were overpowered with the illegal fireworks.
Well, 4 months ago, a guy blew up his house.
Yeah, with illegal fireworks.
That's-
So, I mean, all of our cities are facing this dilemma.
But, Lakewood, they're cracking down.
Yeah.
They are. They have a zero tolerance program. They're going to cite, they have a task force. They're going to cite everyone. Their fireworks have to be done by 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something in one of our municipal codes where the fireworks have to be over by 11 o'clock?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what our municipal code reads, but we could certainly look into it and try to make certain that it is shut down at a certain hour.
Even if we don't have an ordinance that addresses the fireworks,
Yeah.
you can still address it through the
Ordinance.
Yeah, I'd like to also see something in the ordinance that requires them to clean up their mess afterwards.
You can't cite them for a misdemeanor or a felony, you can only use the administrative citation authority.
Mhm.
You don't have to see it in the act.
Yeah.
Well, then,
That's
too,
good.
they fire them over at the park, at Leeward Park. They use these cherry bombs, and they put them in the handball court. The whole area just vibrates.
I don't doubt it, ma'am. And believe me, I do sympathize with you, as I'm sure we all do, because we're all living within this proximity of all this going on.
I think there needs to be some education, to the residents. We need to start doing something about it, because it's just ridiculous.
Well, I think my colleagues concur that we could try to look into an educational program set up here for the city, and then just hope, by God, that people will attend it and listen, but-
Yeah, and Lakewood, even on their website, it has stuff that you can read and review, and on our website, well, the city website, there's a lot of stuff that's obsolete, old.
Yeah, well, it's being renewed at this point. I think Ernesto can bring you up to date on that as far as the website.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
There's stuff in there from April, I think.
Yeah, we're in the process of updating it. We're just about done. I don't know when the last time you've logged in, but
Last night.
yeah. Yeah, we're updating it as we speak, and we should be done in probably the next 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll have all the old stuff off of there and the new stuff on, and I'm going to request that Bashir add something regarding the education on illegal fireworks and what have you
Yeah,
on there,
that way we
too.
can be prepared for next year.
Well, as for illegal fireworks and catching them in the act, I would suggest that you plug in your videotape recorder and
Once you
charge up the
broke.
batteries and
It's
get them
broken
ready for
right
the
now.
4th of July and get that Zoom going. And when you catch them into the act, all you got to do is show the cops.
Oh, sure, and then get your bulletproof vest and everything else
Yeah.
out, because they're allowed to be firing those rockets at you.
I would.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I would.
Okay, anybody else? Item A2.
A1. A1. We haven't done A1. We just went through all communications.
Oh, okay, sorry. A1, adopt resolution number 2006-018, approving pre-issue warrants and regular warrants in the amount of $4,566.36. Do I hear a motion?
Wait for the reading, adopt resolution number 2006-018.
Any discussion? Second? Any discussion? Roll call?
Director Chairez?
Aye.
Director Schultz?
Yes.
Director Canada?
Yes.
Vice Chairmember Herkerman?
Yes.
Chairmember Prida?
Yes.
Motion carries.
A2, adopt resolution number 2006-019, authorizing issuance of two series of bonds, namely its redevelopment project number 2006, tax allocation bond series A, and its redevelopment project number 1, subordinate tax Allocation Bond Series B, approving and authorizing and directing execution of second supplement of indenture of trust and adventure of trust relating thereto, authorizing sale of such bonds, approving official statement, and providing other matters properly related thereto.
Madam Mayor, I believe this goes along with item C3 that we just approved on the council, under council. So I'm going to move to waive further reading and adopt Resolution 2006-019.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, discussion items, new business, closed sessions, oral staff reports, oral agency reports. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this
So moved.
Parliament? So be it. Okay, I will call to order City of Hawaiian Gardens Public Financing Authority. Roll call, please.
Director Chairez?
Here.
Director Schultz?
Here.
Director Canada?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Hickerman?
Here.
Chair Member Frida?
Here.
You have a quorum?
Oral communications, anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. There being no one. A1, adopt resolution number 2006-001, authorizing the purchase and sale of the redevelopment of the City of Hawaiian Gardens, the redevelopment project number 1, 2006, tax allocation bond series A, and its redevelopment project number 1, 2006, subordinate tax allocation bond series B upon certain terms and conditions, approving a distribution of official statement relating thereto and providing other matters properly relating to thereto.
Move to waive further reading, adopt Resolution 2006-001.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. B, discussion items. B1, approval of minutes, January 10th, 2006.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
February the 14th, 206, special meeting.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay. One more item. Okay, musical chairs.
Call to order.
Wait a minute. I gotta wait for the ladies to get up here.
Here for the ladies kind.
Okay.
I will call to order Public Housing Authority. Roll call, please.
Want mine?
Director Kanoe? Here. Director Mahar? Here. Director Chairez?
Here.
Director Schultz?
Here.
Director Canada?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Hickerman?
Here.
Chair Member Frida?
Here.
You have a quorum?
Motion carries. Oral communications, items on and not on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on the agenda items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak? please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. That being no one. A1, resolutions, adopt resolution 2006-010, approving warrants and housing assistance payments for a total of $61,067.78.
Move away for the reading, adopt resolution 2006-010.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Canoy? Director Mahar? Director Chairez?
Yes.
Director Schultz?
Yes.
Director Canada?
Yes.
Vice Chairmember Heckerman?
Yes.
Chairmember Frida?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, discussion items, new business, closed session, oral staff reports, oral board reports. Do I hear a motion?
Motion adjourned.
So be it.
Okay.